Hey again. So, I took a little bit of a rest for the night. I started my night a bit early. I've been doing that a lot lately. Lately being the past year and maybe a year and a half. I was just scrolling on Facebook and I saw a photograph of my childhood best friend, who now lives in Florida, and he was with his mother. It's Mother's Day today, and he was with his mother. He's like in the military. Like he has a lot of like qualifications. Like he has run this clinic, and he's just a very qualified man. He's done a lot for himself and the people around him. And he was with his mother, and I hadn't seen a picture of his mother in ages. Hadn't been with her, haven't heard her voice in, goodness, almost a decade. And I mean, I could tell that she's older now. Okay, she's older now. She maybe wouldn't like me to say this. She looks great, but I can tell the time has passed. But the first thing that came to mind once I realized that, which I didn't even realize at first, to be honest, because of this, is that I still saw the same woman who cared for us back when they lived right next door. People have spoken about this as I've known throughout my life, that the people you fall in love with, the people you knew in high school, people that mean something to you, like, generally speaking, you see the same person that you fell in love with, that you met, that you knew back then, somewhere in there. And, like, I just saw the same woman. It's like, hey, that's her. That's my good friend, my best friend's mother. And funny thing, it's hard to say best friend because, like, I have, like, he's like a friend that I knew from, like, 2001. And then I have a friend who I met, like, 10 years after 2001, which is 2011. And I'm really close with them. And I don't want to discredit the weight that our friendship carries in my life. But, knowing that I hadn't seen her in years, this mother of my good friend, my best friend, childhood best friend, and that suddenly she looked, she had this nuanced difference in how she appeared. It took me a second to actually register that. It's like, it's funny how aging works. Like, at a certain point, it's just, slight markers that you've lived a bit. The same young woman, young man, if you've kept yourself up well, and she has, is still there. Just a few more lines or something, or a few more spots or whatnot. Now, I know from my lifespan development class that the entire lifespan is basically composed of developmental periods. And every period from cradle to grave is basically a distinct passage of time of, like, where you should be in your life and how you should receive yourself, how much you should have made of yourself, and also biological functions. Senescence, the the process of aging is in fact a biological function. Like, I would suppose, it involves the telomeres and, involves like, mitosis and meiosis and all that stuff. And, I don't know, breakdown of organic matter into acid or whatnot. I don't know. But it is a process. It's meant to kind of, I imagine it's meant to ease the cell's energy into a different state. So it's not constantly working as though it's just started. It has to go on. But behind that senescence, behind menopause, behind, the time after having a child, behind the change in hormonal balance, behind the change of body composition, the essence of who that person is has still developed at some point and is there still. And will be there throughout the life because it's been there. And so I just find that kind of beautiful, that even when you've done a bit, or you've been through a bit, even if, the lines on your face are clearer, not just literally, but metaphorically, every story, page turned, another page less. It's almost like you've worked to sort of build your name even more richly than it started with. And it just becomes clearer who you are. And who you were gains more resolution as you age. It doesn't matter whether you still look, the whole fresh-faced, teen model sort of way. They'll still see that, even if you're 50, if you've made something of yourself, if you've been kind, if you've been composed, if you've been faithful, it'll still be there. Even if you've screwed up, you're still you. I'm not sure how deeper I can explain it, but I just find that kind of comforting and profound. When I get older, there'll be more lines on my face. I will change in composition. Maybe my face will be a bit gaunter. Maybe my body will be a little less trim. And the essence of me will remain. Those who I've met now will have their resonance in my life. And those who I meet over time will add to that story. And as more of the world around me, the world that is of me, expands, I will dissipate into what is called age, the preparation for the final turn into death. And I'll leave that legacy. And I'll leave it behind. But throughout each year, who I am will become clearer, will become purified. The shackles of needing to be all pure and fresh-faced and nice and pretty and all these things will still be there, but will pass also. And ultimately, what I'll be known for is my presence. Just as in my friend's mother, I still see what is still very much there to me and to others, the presence of the woman I knew then and still know now. So, I know this is kind of dry, but maybe it'll work. It's a thought that I had. Spontaneous video. Most of mine are. Peace. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks.